All right, happy Friday to all you devils out there. Sam here with you. Oh, coming up on 1 o'clock here, Friday the 14th of October. Well, okay, we're going to look at Bitcoin and one other here. I actually haven't picked it yet, but I've got a couple in mind. So we'll start out here and just kind of do a little bit of a review. This is the whole conundrum here. What are we doing here? Starting or finishing, as I referenced last week. I thought I'd start here. This is probably the most agreed upon count. It's certainly not the only count, but seems to be the most agreed on that we've completed here, and we're working on the two. So, and the reason for that is if we take it out of log scale, right? Does it look like a 4? It doesn't. Right? I mean, granted, right? So duly noted, that was never the case. But in log scale, with the range from 3,000 to 70,000. Log scale, probably not a bad idea to consider. So as we look at this here, let's work with what seems, well, I'll stick with most agreed to. Okay, so again, as I said last week, are we starting? This is an A, working for a B, and we'll come down for a C. Certainly can't eliminate that. Well, if that's the case, right, so to a large degree, it depends on how you're interpreting this. I'm starting here because this is the most simple. The most simple, the simplest. Let's go with most simple. The most simple to see, right? So if this is 3, now it looks like you might have a triangle 4 going in here before you'd anticipate one other drop. Well, okay, let's think about that. If it's a 5, well, this would make perfect sense. But I think there's a reasonable case that Bitcoin we'd be here at 14K, approaching the 19 pivot here. If we go lower, of course, we eliminate any possibility that we have a 4 here. Many have eliminated that long ago. I'd rather let the market do it than prognosticate. That said, if we were to start down here, we get to 14 in Bitcoin, are we done, right? So it would be a very logical place for a correction at 50%. You could certainly see how the market will start to pay attention here. Now, is it enough, right? Obviously, but Bitcoin loves the golden zone. So you could see, oh, okay, could we have a bigger kick in the 5th to get us down to the golden zone? Well, now you're completely eliminating any possibility of a 4, but then what do we got? A? Would it have to be an A? Well, not so fast, right? So there's this is so often the case with Bitcoin. You can interpret it a couple of different ways. I mean, you can interpret that the 5's not in, right? You can interpret it this way still at this moment in time. But let's not go there just yet, right? I tried to avoid that. That is one of the counts that I think is kind of sneaky, that so many have discarded it. Wouldn't surprise me, but let's stay with this, because we don't have to fight for that 4. We can still be done here, which was essentially what any bull is hoping for. Okay, if we're going to come into this range, if we've got to go this deep, well, are we going to pivot here at would be 14 and change or 10 and change? Well, I guess to some degree you could make, not to be flipping about it, right? So, but if you're buying in spot and you're willing to park some money here, whether you got a little here and you got a little more here, I don't know that 2-3 years from now it's going to be a big issue. But okay, that's a $4,000 swing, right? It's a pretty big difference. So for anyone trading futures or with any leverage, right, you're not going to sit through all that, but spot traders probably could. I know I would, right? I'm not going anywhere. But let's look at that, because you would look at it here. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, obviously it's a 5, and if we completed the impulse here, well, A, B, C, right? That's what it has to be. Well, does it? Right? Again, it's open to interpretation here. So let's consider the alternate. So having looked at this, okay. So here's the big bad ugly looked at in the face, right? So maybe we get 706, right? You're down at $6,000. Or what I said, pardon me, 786. Okay, so that very deep correction, right? Crypto's over. Well, what would you anticipate after that? Well, I mean, that's what's implied, right? Market doesn't have to do anything ever. All right, well, so there's our, well, I don't know if I say worst case, but that would certainly be a very ugly scenario for any longer term bulls. Okay, well, let's consider, could this could we interpret this slightly differently? Well, of course, we've been looking at this as an impulse because to your eye, it looks the most obvious. But let's come over here. As we've been through so many variations of this count as it goes down, you can interpret this a couple of different ways. I'll get it out eventually. This could be an ABC. This could be an ABC. This could be an ABC. Now, what do we got here? So let's start to plug some of that in here. I'm going to take this off as well and just consider some alternates. So we're not just, it's all doomsday scenario. Well, something so bearish. So let's put on a couple of other contenders. Well, so one possibility here is that we've got an A, right? So we can take the 5 here. We can take the 3 here. We can work the 5 here, right? So if that were the case, zigzag. Well, could we be done there? Well, I suppose, right? Until we take out that low, there's a prayer of a case for a 1-2, but still potentially there. Good God, that would be astonishing if we were to do it. But if we were to go 1-2 and we come down here and just spare that and then go 3, 4, 5, well, if any asset could do it, it would be Bitcoin. But let's before we start, passing around the hopium pipe, let's slow down for a second and see what some other possibilities here. All right, so we know, stock market is wrestling with how to price risk. So if we were to have any sort of rally out of here, it certainly would be most probable would strike me that this would be likely an X wave here. And then we might, if we need to, come down here and do it this way. This seems a bit more likely given the macro backdrop. Now, I would love to be wildly wrong and that this go 1 and somehow we were spared the overlap here and we get a 2 and we get a big 3. I would love to see that. I think that's, again, you can hit that hopium pipe a little too hard. So how would we count this? Well, interestingly, there's a couple of different ways to count this. So if we were to go into a W, well, the expectation here is that whatever we're doing here, whatever complexity here, if it leads to a rally, it would be an X. And then we'd probably move some of this around, right? We'd probably be looking more like this for our Elliott channeling here on the assumption here that the second X would stay aligned with that channel and the A, B, C for the Y, we'd come down here for the Y. And then we'd be but at least between the 50 and the golden zone, we'd have all this structure here. We see, all of this structure here. So you get this nice, pretty looking zone here where I would like to think anyone who follows me, anyone might, well, at the very least would be looking for an opportunity there. Now, okay, do you need to sit down here with a limit order? Well, you could, right? I mean, again, what's your time frame? But you don't need to, right? That's the safest way to do it. Okay, I got a higher low. I can put my stop here. Now, do I get it or do I roll over, right? We never know, right? That's welcome to trading. You don't know, right? That could easily do that, right? Easily. How do we know? Well, nobody knows. Right, but we can try and look for those locations where we get a slight edge, which is all the market ever gives. Okay, so if we're going to come out of here and we're going to do it in some sort of a 3, well, okay, you can probably make a case here for an A wave. Triangle B looks like a contender. So can I kick out of here? Well, if I do, again, my thought would be, okay, we've gone A, B, C, W, X. Now we're going to go A, B, C, Y. And really, what the function is, what would we be anticipating to come, right? 5 or a 3, right? That's what you'd be anticipating to come out of there if this is how it's going to play. Now, how do we get there? Because this, right, I know I'm kind of conveniently avoiding the dig in there because it's a mess. This, could we do A, B, C, D, E? That's probably unlikely. I was just kind of a little testing. Does that look right? Could that work? Well, if that were the case, how would that work? So if we're going to do this, if this is an A and some sort of a B is going in here, oof, God, it ain't pretty. Here, well, let's look at a couple of different ways because I got a couple of good thoughts here. Now, before I go to what I think is a pretty good looking count at this. This is where we left it last week. Here, I know I'm jumping around here, but this was such a bear, and I think we can, if not eliminate it here, we can put this as less probable. So we were looking at the possibility, right? And this was, this section here was really tough. That we had gone into some sort of a, we'd gone here. This was an impulse down, and so we were going to try and finish it here. So shit, I can't remember. We had the Y. I think the 2 was not relevant to that. So I've got some holdovers here. Okay, so if this was going to be, if we were going to do this as a 1, right? We looked at this possibility here. So we could have a 1. Now we got this absolutely crazy triangle here. So you got to go A. Jesus, I couldn't even speak it last week. It's A, right? So you got 3s. You got to go A, then A, then A, B, C, D, E to give you the B relative to that blue A. So you get the C. So it would be 1. A, oh Jesus, it's hard to say. 1, A, B, C into the 2. Well, here, let's label it here. I guess I did have that. So it would be 1, 2, and then 1, 2. We're looking for 3, right, to come down. But I think we can eliminate that because this has no resemblance to that, and I got an impulse here. Now, it's technical as hell, right? It's not surprising, right? So we know, oh, this was a golden zone here. Then we go to a 50. So if we look here, here's the swing, right? This is all the market ever does, right? So it was going to be here, it's going to be here, right? So we get the 50 to the tick. Now, what do we get here? Corner pocket, right? So that's a shift, right? So we've just shifted down 50%, right? For our pivots. So swing, retrace to the 50, right? Shift pitchfork because we're looking for a correction here. Tags the median line. Impulse comes off of it. So what the hell? Right, so that idea starts to get eliminated, and this is such a chop monster. Nobody knows what the hell that is. Probably some sort of a complex 3. Okay, we got to work that likely as an impulse, and then that likely as an impulse. So there's nothing here. The Elliott is very challenging here, and I mean it's not unreasonable to say, oh God, this is such a chop monster until this cleans itself up. Right? Is the Elliott helping? Well, there's a fine line there between trying to solve the puzzle, right, which most Elliotticians are drawn to it, right? Can I solve that fucking puzzle with these tools, right, and rules and guidelines? Can I do it? Well, that's the first challenge, right? And I completely understand that. But if it's not helping, right, if you're just after all of the analysis, you get to, well, fuck, I don't know what the hell to do, right? That's paralysis of analysis, right? So let's keep it simple. What can we say with certainty, right? An algos participate. Oh shit, I guess put that in something brighter and bigger. Okay, so we got an algo participating here. We don't have to wonder about that, right? We've got an algo participating here, right? We know. We've shown this God knows how many times. All right, so here's there's never a video where I don't make this the focal point because it should be your focal point. Well, pardon me, I shouldn't say it that way. If you'd like to learn how the market moves, I would encourage you to study this measured move algo. How about I say it that way, right? I think that can only help you. Case in point, right? Okay, so but now note here what's happened here. So we've broken here. We've broken the sell side algo, right? It's from this pivot to this pivot, we're now broken, right? There is no sell side algo in that range any longer, right? Fully broken. So where could I find an algo here? Right? Well, okay, I got a 5 up. Right, that's a little Elliott brought in, right? Algo doesn't care, right? We're coming down, right? This one target, second target, third target, right? Look how that lines up. This would be the target at the 50. This would be the second target at the golden zone, and now we're back to the 50 at the larger pull, which is third target here, right? Could we do something like this up to retest that golden zone? Well, this is such a wonky, and we come into a double. I mean, we're just barely spared the double bottom here, but essentially you have a double. You know what is funny, right? I promise you, there were people just yesterday in both markets, right, just pouring into shorts there. Not so fast, right? That's, as I said to members in the futures room, if it looks like easy money, you can almost be assured it won't be. Right, and a whole lot of people got taught that lesson yesterday. It looks like, oh my God, CPI is what? Oh, dump it, buy puts, sell it at the market, sell it all, get it. Right, then just a massive up day. Right, so then which creates all short covering. Interestingly, Bitcoin did not have as massive an update, and it's not having as massive down days. So the correlation is breaking. We seem to go in the same direction, but not with the same velocity. It's interesting, right? Just an observation. So this is just a cluster F. But what's the constant in this? The algo. That is the constant, right? Take all the Elliott out of it. Swing, where's the algo? Swing, where's the algo? Oh, it broke? Who's teed up next? Who's next? Right? Now that doesn't mean we don't, right? Because these note here, these targets are not met. This target is down here, not met. This target down here, not met. So if we do this, right, you'd have a sell side right here. Bring it down here. Now, can we get all the way down to these targets? Well, I wouldn't bet against it until I saw something like this. I'm going to need to see this one break, and then you got to see this one break. So a lot of breaks have to happen here before you can start to sink your whole premise into the idea that, oh, I've got bottoming action down here. Call it what you like, right? Okay, I've got bottoming accumulation type of action down here. Accumulate, right? Test it. What happens, right? What happens when we get to this level? Buyers go, okay, that's low enough. I'll buy that. Oh, we're coming back down under 19. Okay, I'll buy that. Oh, we're coming back down. Yeah, I liked it at 18.5, so I love it at 1800. Right, we're coming back. Oh, it's on sale again, right? They keep putting this on sale. It's interesting, right? I mean, are you buying in the discount area? Right, here we could do it like this. Right, what can we buy in the discount? Right, in the lower half of that range. Well, if you're a buyer, if you're accumulating here, right, seems like that's not a bad thought. Right, again, accumulation. Right, talking spot, not necessarily levered up on futures. These are the things we can recognize. We know what happened there. Now, what happens here? Right, remains to be seen. Right now, it doesn't really look like we even have a 3. But if we could get that, and then can we get that? Right, get a change of structure here, a little higher high. Can I get a higher low? Doesn't have to be right here. Could be a golden zone. But can I get out of here? I need something impulsive. Somewhere in this mess, I need an impulse up. I'm getting diag up, impulse down. Okay, I got an impulse here, but it didn't. What followed didn't really give me the 1-2 I was looking for. Right? In fact, it eliminated here when we take out that break. So this has to be part of something else. Thus, A, B, C. Right? So you got to deal with that impulse. So you got to fit it in somewhere. That seems to be the most reasonable place for it. Now, what do I get here? Well, it's hard to. Well, we can certainly say it's not an impulse, right? This, whatever this is, whatever this leg is here, is not an impulse. So A, B, C, or you can get some. There's a hideous diag in there, which is essentially a force fit because you're trying to find a home for it as a 5. It's probably just a 3. Plays more cleanly as some sort of A, B, C, something like that shit. To some degree, you look at it and you go, fuck, does it matter? Does it matter? Did I get every little pivot there labeled? Well, I don't know that it does, right? It's the trader analyst, right? Does the trader really fucking care? Not really. Analyst probably does. Right? 2 different skills, analyst and trader. Let's not confuse those two. I always consider myself trader first. I'm not the best Elliottian. I never have claimed to be. I have people on my team that are better than I am. But the goal is not to be right and not to be the best analyst. The goal is to be profitable. That's a big adjustment in people's head, right? I get comments all the time. People say, oh man, you're wrong. You're wrong all the time. Wrong. Well, 2 things I note. One, as the intensity of the nasty comments increase, right? Because I see them all. Right, so if you're sending them to me, I'm likely not going to post it if it's just some shitty comment. But I see them, and what I notice is that the closer we get to a bottom, the nastier the comments get. Right, you can just feel the frustration in the market. So this whatever this is, right? I recognize here people are getting frustrated. Right, it's been a long wait. Right, so it's not hard to understand. What is hard to understand for an analyst, what the fuck? What are we doing here? Not much, right? So really, I mean, as I just drew this up, right? We're just kind of, even if we do it here, right? We're just kind of in a big box of chop. It's just a big box of rocks, right? We can't make any progression. We're trying to put in a bottom down here, but we can't get any legs. And anytime we got something, because this could have been like, hey, impulse. Oh, if I got a 3 here, okay, we're out of here. But boy, what a disappointment. Accumulation? Well, right back to where we started. It's not a bad thought for accumulation if we're thinking about where we're located. Where are we located? Could we stop right here and not get to the 50? Not get to that structure? Oh yeah. This seems like the most probable. Right now, look how long that could take. Right, we're going out to 24. That it could take that long. It could. Right, what's the general consensus? A recession in 23. Recession in 23. First half of 23. We'll get all the week longs out. End of 23, we start that rally. Can you wait that long? Well, I mean, market doesn't give you that choice, right? The market's going to force you to wait. I mean, we don't know that this is the path it's going to take, but get used to waiting, right? That's probably one of the skills that not enough educators talk about, right? Is the impatience, right? The impatience causes you to make irrational decisions because you're impatient because you're like, God damn it, come on, Bitcoin, fuck it, I'm just going to long it, right? I've been there. I've felt that emotion, like, God, do something, right? It's common. If you're a crypto trader, you probably thought it more than a few times. So how do we get out of here? Well, it's hard to argue with the path of least resistance, right? Even if we're doing a triangle here, the implication it's a descending triangle that you'd come out of here and you'd need one more leg to finish it. And if we don't push hard here, then you're thinking, oh, I'm going to come in for that X, and then I'm going to come down. It looks like it needs to come down, and we need to get that capitulation swing where people just completely throw their hands up. Crypto's over, Bitcoin's dead. And as soon as you start seeing that, that's when you can start getting aggressive. It's just the way the markets move. It's human nature. It's crowd dynamics, right? The frustration. Everybody feels it, right? Oh my God, how much longer for crypto? Winner. Patience is valuable, right? Really, in the investment climate, patience is a valuable asset, right? So don't let the impatience get the better of you. I feel it with you, and trust me, I do. Oh, let's see. Okay, so it's 22. God, is there anything? Oh yeah, I do. I wanted to share this count because this is not my count, but this is a way we might get out of here a little bit. Perhaps we could get out of here, not have to go all the way to the golden zone. Maybe we can get out of here at the 50. So let's just revisit this. So same count, same premise that we've gone A, B, C. So we've gone A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. All right. So I got a W, X, Y. All right. Now this is some very fancy footwork here, and this actually was. I was exchanging charts with our newest purple belt, and that is PKS Avenda, who's really become just a terrific Elliott analyst. I think he's level 2 now, and just in the process of getting level 3 certified, right? With EWI, so he's gonna be level 3 at EWI. He's a purple belt with us, right? Give you an idea of which one is more challenging. He'd be quick to tell you that ours is much more challenging. All that said, right? That still don't make light of a level 2 cert. Okay, so he brought this to my attention. I was like, wow, that's really, really clever, and I think you could have it, and we'd have the potential here to be finishing a little bit sooner. Now, the downside to this count is that it's a little compressed. So if we look at the 2 WXY, so this would be WXY1. And then if this were to be the X, okay, well, right off the bat, you're a little bit, that's awfully short, right? Now, of course, the market is under no obligation to do anything, but you would have liked to have seen that X get up here, right, to be in line with that channeling, and then you'd come down, right? But we're not getting, so it'd be a little skinny on the second X. Well, how can we get this done? Well, if that were the X, right? So if we had the WXY and we're done, A, B, C, right? At ending diag for the C gives us an X. Now, this is where this is really some fancy footwork. Okay, so we had looked at this as a possible phi, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your A wave coming down for the A. Well, now you got into this triangle. So you could do it this way. And this is what PK sent to me. I was like, I'll be damned, that's great thinking, right? So we'd go A, B, C of a W. So it's A, B, C, W, A, B, C, because this is such a god-awful 5. Oh, geez, you got to pick your pivot there. ABC, like hideous 3, but it's so god awful. But likely you could wedge them. Oh, fuck, can you even do it? Yeah, I guess you can get a diag in there. There's 5 swings in there. Oh shit, we can't get that one. Oh, maybe we have to do it this way. A, right? Because we're doing a triangle, so we get 3. Now you'd have to do. I know, it's really ugly. 3. No, sorry, pardon me. It's got to be right here. Oh, shit. Looks like you'd have to do it this way. Of that, for 3 in that B. Now, you don't quite have your 3 here yet, right? You've got your 5, but I need this, right? So I can stay with my 3s. Then I need another 3. Then I need another 3 to get my E. All right, so what would I have? If I finish it that way, this is pretty clever. All right, so we'd go, it would be from the X here. We have A, B, C. Now, if you're an Elliottician, right, you got to give that mad props, right? That's very clever to come up with that. So A, W, X, triangle Y to give us the B, and then we're down for a C. So we'd be looking for impulse to come down and finish, give us that C. We could get done at the 50. So we're done here in the 14 and change range, right? Assuming we can get a clean impulse out of here. Very, very, very cool work. Right? That's really good, PK. Right? That's why he's a purple belt, right? And he's on his way to brown belt and teed up for sensei. So really, really nice stuff here. So let's get, I guess here I pull that out of there. Now, it's a little premature, right? We don't have the C in yet, right? So you're forecasting C, D, and E of a Y of a B before you even have the C done yet. So while I mad respect to have come up with that puzzle, with those puzzle pieces, we're not quite there yet. And then we looked at, the possibility here that we're going to come out of here and and we get that X up where you'd expect it. Oh shit, here, something like that. I pull back out. Am I right there? Yeah. So something along here. We're a bit more in line with the channeling you'd anticipate in a sharp triple. Well, I've just got a runner on here, so I'm just cloning it and then bringing it out to accommodate the sharpness here. If this is just another zigzag, but you sure would, to really get conviction on this count. It's this. This is the bit that you want to see. Can I get this AB? Now, maybe we have to go down that far. Maybe we do, right? Somewhere down here is prime buying zone. I'd rather get there this way because I'd have more conviction in what we were doing than if we were trying to play for the idea that it's going to be that this is the first WXY and that this, oh Jesus Christ, how can I even do it? Would be A, B, C, right? So this would be, no, fuck, here, let's get it this way. This would be the second one. A, B, C, right? So the X would go here. So it would be this one compared to the big one. That's what makes me a little reluctant there on that one, despite how sexy that work is there. It's the mismatch in size makes me a little bit reluctant to lean heavily into this. I'd rather this X come up, right? Then we go like, oh shit, it's right out of the book. Well, we shall see. Okay, so I think that's where we are here. I don't think there's anything to do. I mean, even if you stay with this count, is there something to do here? Well, shit, I mean, suppose you come down to a 1 minute. Is there something to do? Well, let's see our Sonar Labs, right? So Sonar Labs. God, they make that. They add that to Sonar. It's two, 3 times a week. They just continue to be upgrading that platform. These set of tools, just as well, if you're into market structure, and you can see how nicely it plays with Elliott Wave, right? That's why we were interested in working with them, right? So if you're interested in Sonar, right, as I've mentioned many times, right, our link is underneath. We've got an exclusive relationship with them. So if you use our link, which is in our link tree directly below this promo, sorry, but if you do use that link, you'll get 10% off your monthly, which adds up over time. Okay, so so this is where we are here. We're trying to finish this triangle. Okay, well we've got the A wave here. We've got the A. Right, we're working on a B. All right, can we get a C, D, E? Right, it's a lot to come still. So knowing that this is technical, our technical pivots are this one and this one. Oh God damn it! Come here. This one. Right, those are the two. That's the golden zone. That's a 50. This is a break. But these two have unrealized targets below. So is there what advantage do you have here? You don't. There is no edge here. So you're better off going to Vegas. Right? You heard me say this before, right? Free drinks and a pretty girl to bring them to you. Otherwise, here you're just you have absolutely no edge here. Where's the trend? No, that's a serious question, right? Where's the trend? What can we see here? I'm down to a 1 hour here. What would you be inclined to do? Well, I'd be looking for pools of liquidity. Where's the liquidity? Down here, likely, right? You've got a little something like this here, so a trend line like that, and you've got that's the right one, right? You've got equal highs up here. Well, we're going to kind of look at all of this. So you've got liquidity up here, liquidity down below. So the market is just kind of pinging back and forth between what's the market's purpose, right? To move to where transactions can happen, right? So where's the liquidity? So you can, market's purpose is to facilitate trade, right? So if there's liquidity down here, there's liquidity up here, you can anticipate, right? We might go sideways for a while until we get a breakout. Oh, I thought you told me never to buy breakouts. Well, what I tell you is never to enter at a significant pivot. Why? Okay. Here's how did these guys do? Right here. How did these guys do when they took this breakout right here? How'd that go? These guys. Oh, I bet you had some people front running it here. Oh, well, let's get in early, right? We'll use the stops. That'll. It's just a terrible, 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 terrible. Did I say terrible? Terrible place to enter the market. Right? You don't want to do it, right? You're immediately vulnerable to getting bent over. Right? Why? You are bending over in the shower there. I mean that's too crude, but that's effectively what you're doing, right? You're asking for it. Okay, so I think I got it. Okay, I'm going to pause because we've done enough Bitcoin here. If I were gun to my head as to where the next trade is, I might look here. Coming down here, well, you can see we've got a little, right, as I've just drawn this out here, we've got order blocks, right, as Sonar Labs defines them. We define them slightly differently. But so here I've got some support down here. I've got liquidity down here, liquidity up here, liquidity up here. But there's no advantage there. There's no edge, right? So why trade, right? So then now you got to be patient, which is kind of where I started. Okay, let me pause there, and then I'm going to bring back. Give me a minute here. Okay, today's video is brought to us by BitGet. Now, this has really become my go-to exchange, particularly for futures trading, but they're very full-featured. It's a simple interface, easy to use. There's no KYC, so it's great for any traders based in the U.S. or any other countries where you have issues with that. Now, you don't have to KYC, but if you do, you'll get access to some additional features and benefits. But again, futures is kind of their calling card. That's really how they've built that business. So I'm over here here, this is CoinGecko here, and you see they're typically in the top 5 or 6 on trading volume. This is just 24-hour volume. You can see here they're right behind FTX last night in the last 24 hours, but they're typically right in this range. So you get great liquidity. Now, if you are interested in supporting the channel, or just willing to click a link, that we will get a little compensation from that. But we got this little promo going on. You can win up to 4,323 USDT using our link. I'll let you read some of this. The idea here is open an account, fund it, do a little futures trading, test it out, and you'll be eligible for some of these prize giveaways here. And essentially, if you open, you get a little kicker. You fund it, you get a little kicker. If you start doing some futures trading, you get a little more, and you're be in the running for some of these prizes here. So something to consider. Again, just it couldn't be any easier. Literally can have your account open in 5 minutes, and I think you'll like what you see in here. If you're interested in a more detailed walkthrough, if you just look back through some of our most recent videos, September 18th of this year, I did a full walkthrough of all of the features that are in here. So just something to keep in mind. If you want to support the channel, great way to do that. Members, of course, you all know, you've seen all the promotions that we've had to make this, one of your go-to exchanges. You'll find the rates and the fees are as good as anywhere. So again, we're very comfortable recommending this to any crypto traders out there. So with that, okay, let's get back to the video. Okay, let's finish up here with a look at Cosmo Atom. Or Cosmo, I guess I don't know why we have 2 names for it, but we do. Okay, so what I hear, this is I've got a little bit more history here. This is Cosmos to the dollar tether on Binance. So I get the COVID low here. It does look like we end up with a true, well, damn near triple, quadruple top. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I know that's a pain here. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the ABC, there's a nice impulse here, and interesting, right? We get perfect, right, geometry here. Structural. Prior resistance becomes the support, and we're a little bit in between here. So if that's indeed our pivot, well, okay, you can understand how we could potentially pivot here. Now, what comes off of that is just an absolute chop monster. But this is certainly one to be looking, perhaps watch list material, right? So we've coming off of this pivot here with a nice Elliott count. If that's a 1, okay, some sort of, right, something like that would have me interested. Maybe use some structure like this. You can see here how that has played. If I stop it there, here, 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 here. Now they break it. Could we come back down to it? Seems like a reasonable spot to be looking. And then, of course, right? Of course. All right, we're just going to look for wave 2 locations here. So anywhere in here would be an area of interest. Pretty much right in there. If we come down here, it looks like, let's see. Let's go in there a little bit further. What do we have with that? Well, that looks like 4, 5. We don't, that does not, I can't, well, maybe we can get it. Can we get it too? It looks triangle-like. Oh, that's a bit of a bear. Well, maybe we could do it. We could probably do it as a diag. So it looks like we got a 1. Oof. Boy, that sure looks like triangle. Let's go with 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. Just you got to measure, double check here. How's 1? A little shy. Let's take it out of log. Even worse, so we can't do that. Well, pardon me. We'll check. It looks like, well, let's see here how 4 relates. So you got a candidate. Well, you've got a candidate for contracting, right? 5 shorter than 3, 3 shorter than 1. ABC, ABC. A triangle B, C for the 3. ABC. Oh, Jesus, you might even be. I could have another leg. Well, okay, let's think about what that might be there. If we can't say with. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, like it, or A, B. Boy, the swing structure here is not quite right. I'd be checking oh, here, if we're going to pull from the second one here, if it's a true double here, we've got a little truncation here in the fifth. ABC, oh God. I don't really want to do ABC, but you might have to, right? A, B, C, right? Avoiding the triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, fuck. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C into the 3, A, B, C into the 4. Now this is, that would have me a little bit hesitant there. It's not clear, right? So we'd have A, candidate, B, and then we'd be looking for C. Well, actually, let's bring this down a little bit. Candidate for a B, and then C down here. We'd have that. Now this, right, the overlap here, right, is just brutal. So any Elliottician is looking at that going, oh my God, what are we doing with that? Well, it's a bit of a, it ain't pretty. So now I'm going to switch over to BitGet, right, which is my trading platform. So where I would trade here. So all I'm really focused on is the correction, and then coming down the, right, coming down here. Can we get something to work here? Well, this is my best effort here. ABC1. It gets mighty skinny in there. ABC2, ABC3, ABC, need it for the overlap, right? It's just nothing but overlap, so you got to find a diag in here. Looks like you, from the 4, you'd go A, so it looks like you can go, it's a 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the A. You got to go A, B, C into the B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it looks like a little truncation here on that 5th, right? With this wick pump, looks like a fairly decent 4. We don't quite match it. Well, if you wanted to be here, then you'd be thinking A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B. It doesn't quite work as well. So truncation is where you go last resort, but I think this plays better as an A. This is a B and a C. Of course, well, I guess we could do A triangle B, and we'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could work as well. So let's throw that in there as a, because that sure looks like a triangle, right? So you can't have it in a 2, but you can have it in a B. So maybe I can get 1, 1, 2 working on. Oh, that could be 3, 4. Maybe we get a diag here. We've already overlapped. This is a little, we'll see. Right? It's not a lot of conviction there, because this is unclear, right? Let's see if a 4 clears it up at all. I suppose, yeah, so you can get your 5, diag 5, triangle B, 1, 2. Do we have that? 1, 2, 3, 4. God. See, all this overlap is really annoying, right? The Elliottician is just frustrating. So what do you do with it? Well, it looks like you'd have to go this way, right, to avoid to get better swing structure. I can't say I love that. Jesus. Well, I suppose, well, for the low to be in here, it looks like we could do it as a WXY. What I got, right? So it looks like we go WXY as an alternate. A, B, C, triangle X, A, B, C, to get you done here. Let's take it out of log. Right, here's my range from, right, so I don't need log here. If that's the pivot, well, I guess algo doesn't care, right? It's going to use the dominant, right? So swing low to swing high, we're right in the pocket, right back into all this consolidation. This is such a cluster. But what you want to see in here is, okay, did it get technical anywhere? Right here? Did we get technical here? How about here? It's a little unclear, right? Front run could be. Definitely not. Not, right? You're looking for, okay, did they use it? Where is it? Here? Here. Okay, well, that looks like, there it is. All right, so we got swing 50. There's the algo target, retrace. So you'd anticipate that they used it again off of that pivot, which looks like they did. Oh, we could use either one. right here. Tricky. A lot of chop monster there. But another one for your watch list, right, is if you can wrap your head around the idea of this being a motive and we're correcting. So essentially all we're saying is swing, correct, right? That's all the market ever does. Okay. All right, guys, there we go. That's probably enough to chew on. Okay, well, as usual, right, you can always join us for free. Here's our plans and prices. Come on over. You can read the differences here about what you get with each of them. Free is a logical place to start. Coming in, check it out, right? You want to upgrade to social, right? You get your access to more of the content, and then educational is pure belt system, right? Well, it gets you access to everything, but essentially, right, that's the difference between social and education is the belt system. All right, guys, there you go. Hope that gives you a few things to chew on, and we'll see how we resolve all of this chop mania. But it certainly is challenging, right? Okay. All right, guys, have a good weekend. I'll be back on Monday for our usual, it'll either be live stream or pre-recorded depending on the number of submissions we get from members. Okay, guys, have a good weekend. I'll talk to you soon.